Instagram, come on. We're checking the connection. Okay, now we're live. Excellent. Welcome, everyone, for today's episode of Starseed Activations. So today we're going to be discussing, we had a question come in about tachyons that are inside the heart. So you know what? We might as well just dive in. What happened, Instagram? Instagram booted me out. Okay, we're going to do Instagram again. Okay, let's close this. Hi, everyone. Welcome for coming. Welcome, welcome. Checking connection. Go ahead. Thank you, universe, for allowing Instagram to work. We're going to just whooshy. All right. Last time this worked. Hopefully it'll do it again today. Beautiful. Okay. So we're going to be discussing tachyons in the heart chakra. And so tachyons is a subatomic particle that moves faster than light. And so if you've ever watched Star Trek, you notice that they may talk about tachyon warp speed coils. And so basically what that is now I want you to imagine it goes beyond light as well as beyond time. So we know that inside the heart chakra, there's the seat of the higher self is in the heart chakra. It's about a foot off. And so this is where we see those tachyon subatomic particles, they're saying. And so just imagine for 1 second, your higher self is above time and space. And so it pulls down and then it comes into the heart chakra. And so, of course, the higher self is going to be above time and space. And, okay, Instagram is not happening right now. Maybe I should close out the app. I don't like when this does this. Let's not share that. Discard the video. Discard. Okay, let's try it again. We'll just, boom, try it again. So, your higher self goes above time and space. So those tachyon particles, subatomic particles, the star people are saying, of course, they're going to go beyond time and space. But now, how do you start to access the higher self? So in order to access the higher self, they've been telling us you have to go into the heart chakra. There's two different heart chakras. Now, I want you to imagine your chakras are this far apart. So your chin and your nose, that's how far each chakra is. So you can take it, there's your pineal gland, then there's the crown chakra. You take it, you go down, there's your throat chakra. Down is the top of the heart, and then down one more is the bottom of the heart. Your higher self fits into the bottom of the heart chakra. That's the small place or the lower place in the heart. And so when you start, I have hair in my mouth. Okay, when you start to really go inside your heart chakra, that little space in the heart, then you can coax down the higher self, and the higher self will actually flower open inside that heart chakra. That is the most important thing that each and every one of us should be doing on a daily basis. Because when you figure out how to open up the heart chakra, you can figure out how to open up the pineal gland. So the pineal gland opens like a pine cone. It's the same exact thing. And so when you open both of these together and you're fully activating your energetic grid structures, which allows you to move gracefully through time and space, the star people are saying. However, think about it from this perspective. When you are accessing these energetic systems, you are also accessing the sub-programming system of the holographic simulation. And so what that means is if you wish to have something that you want to be manifest into your physical reality, then you can easily do so when these two centers are fully opened and in alignment. Each one of the primary chakra systems has to be properly in alignment. So you have to do your shadow work. You have to release. Releasing density and distortion and attachments, all of this stuff, it's a journey. It does not happen overnight. You should give yourself grace. Each and every human being on this planet, we've all been traumatized since birth. And birth is the original trauma. And so that trauma is the pain that you feel at birth. And so when an infant is born, it comes out and then it screams in pain. And it's like a shock to the system. That's what the infant is going through. And so when we know that that's the very first trauma, that trauma is what grounds us into 3D. It allows us to be here because you have to have one trauma in order to exist in the 3D reality. If you didn't have that trauma, now just imagine 5D people. 5D people, they have all sorts of high technology, so their births are painless. So imagine taking the baby and just beaming it directly into your arms. Did that child feel any pain? No, it was a very smooth transition. And so in the 3D reality, we start with pain. That pain, however, is a blessing because it allows us to grow and to develop. Now, each species that goes through the evolutionary process, they start with some degrees of pain. Some species don't have as much pain as we have on this planet. On this planet, there's a whole lot of chaos and distortion that we see, and it's shooting at us from every single angle, and we see it, and it's like, you know, a lot of times, many starseeds, one of the common complaints is, oh, I feel like there's just so much negativity that I've been through in my life, and you feel like you don't get credit for it. But the truth of the reality is that when you tune into 5D frequencies and you've gone through all of that nonsense, you do get credit for it. Because every single trauma that you heal, it unlocks your energetic grids to a higher frequency range in which you're going to be able to activate extrasensory abilities at a higher rate because you went through all of that density, darkness, or traumas. So we have credit for every single trauma that we've walked through. We're waiting to unlock it and receive our awards. I told them already. I said, when I reach 5D, I want an iced coffee with whipped cream and caramel and cinnamon sugar. Yeah, Jesus' birth, same thing. Hi, everybody. Hey, thank you guys for coming. Hey, Derek. Wonderful. I hope Instagram is live and working. I don't see anybody on there. If anyone's on Instagram, if you could just give me a like or a thumbs up or a heart everywhere. So wonderful. So, okay, we're going to read a post first because there's a lot of information about attachments that I put out in the past. However, we are now going to be running an attachment class. And so the attachment class is really to start people calling me to step into a new modality in which they did this automatically. This is something that I knew was coming 3 years ago, but now I've fallen headfirst into. And so now I sat here and I downloaded 10 pages of attachment names and emotion codes and experientials. The experientials, I haven't even dove into them yet, but there's so many of them. So we're going to read a post called Dark Empath Abilities and Shadow Worker Abilities Further Explained. This is on my Facebook page. It's also on treelifeorganization.com. And so that's actually a Facebook blog page. You guys see it. You can scroll down. I don't know how far down the list it is. Maybe I should just repost it for you guys because there's over 500 posts. It would take you all day to go through them all. So I'm just going to read it. And then later on after the live, I'll try and repost it on Facebook. So if you want a copy, just go copy and paste and keep it. Put it on your phone, share it, save it. It's for the collective. Doesn't bother me. Okay, so Dark Empath Abilities and the Shadow Worker Abilities Further Explained. The Dark Empath abilities have been recently activated by solar energetics and density clearing patterns in some individuals. Okay, the Dark Empath abilities gets activated by walking inside the darkness and embracing the emotion codes of thus darkness. That's what we've been doing. We've been walking through the darkness. How many times have you guys experienced darkness where you're like, oh, that sucked. I have an emotion to it, right? That trauma, that tragedy, that emotion. This is what they're talking about. Emotion coding is how each individual may shift the negative aspects of the holographic projection or reality they experience back into light or crystalline frequencies. So holding the emotion coding shall allow a transmutation effect as well as shift inside the lower vibration energetic grids of the item or being in question. This is how healing may occur and densities to be released for individuals and locations. This gift is not for all individuals. There are many density levels to all gifts, and intuition must be used while activation of gifts is manifest. Some people walk through different levels of darkness. That's what that means. And so you have someone who they walk through their fire, and even if they got broken or burnt a little bit, that's fine. But then like you'll have this sweet and innocent person come along. That sweet and innocent person, they cannot walk through the same fire. It would take them out. And so everybody has their own level to the traumas that they walk. We're not supposed to judge. And so if you guys are sweet and innocent and like you have not walked through the trauma, the density, the fire, that's okay too, because that just means you're not meant to do these type of things. Those people who are like the hardcore, you dove in deep, you swan dove, right? Then you may be for this post, because when you learn all of that, and we human beings, we do this naturally anyway. So birds of a feather flock together. We heal together. We're supposed to be tribal. And so when you guys go through a hard or a traumatic experience, you're supposed to take it and you help and share with the people around you to get them to heal themselves. This is how the sunflowers do the same thing with the light ions. And so sunflowers, When it's not sunny out, they both face each other and they share light ions amongst each other to keep each other happy and healthy. And so this is the same exact thing that we do here. This is just the way that star people word it. The dark empath may clear attachments from the individual grids, as well as learn to command such darkness in time and activate what's known as shadow walker abilities. So it sounds like a lot. Don't panic. It's fine. Dark empaths may also use dark humor and generate light and laughter. This is one example how it is understood that darkness may bring light. I never understood that in my journey. I never understood that darkness can bring light. But I've had a friend who he was very dark humored and everyone laughed at him. And I was like, wow, he like cursed you guys out and you were all laughing and it was fine. Right. So some people have that ability. It is what it is. It's here. It's in the simulation. We can see it. It's multiple people. And so we just become aware of it and we accept it. Right. Whenever we place judgment on anything, it messes it up. And so when you judge something, it gets a cast back on you. And so I don't try to judge anything, even if it's something really negative. I do feel the call to action. So if I see something happening in front of me and I don't like it, I'm stepping in. I'm going to make a stink. That's just the way I am. But if we're just talking about it's in the world somewhere, I don't judge it because every person is allowed to have their own experience. You guys, you're allowed to have your own experience. You're allowed to go and to do whatever it is. You're allowed to learn from your mistakes. We're not to judge people by their mistakes. We're supposed to just be at peace and, okay, well, how can I help you? Do you need help? Do you want help? And so they have to want help. They have to want to be healed. You can't force them. So, but to me, this is very interesting because I had no idea. So let me see. When an individual carries across a trauma, it allows other individuals who have also accessed similar experiences to bond together and assist in the healing process. This is how learning trauma coding may assist others in healing. Many individuals may express trauma, and it changes the life path and allows them to manifest healing larger groups of individuals, thus healing the collective consciousness grids. Dark matter is a form of a frequency wave, which may generate new universes and create new life, for it is always birthed inside darkness. In order to access gifts of that degree, each experience must be manifest in the soul form and experienced by multiple viewpoint expressions. This means an individual must walk darkness and learn darkness in order to fully access the control systems of the holographic simulation. For light and dark are one and the same frequency wave and just set to a different vibrational frequency tone. This is deep. I should have reread this. I didn't even reread this before reading it now. And now as I read it, I'm like, wow. A shadow walker is one who walks among the shadows and remains unseen or harmed by such darkness. This individual's dark matter Merkaba field will be activated and they will have working knowledge of the dark matter Kundalini channel. Walking with darkness is done in different dimensional planes and is not currently seen with the human eye alone. This gift allows for communication with dark entities, and in some instances, possession may occur. If the individual is holding enough light-based emotions, they will not experience any harm or possession. Having the ability to walk among darkness and entities allows a type of control of the darkness to manifest and assist in multiple lower crystalline realm gifts to be accessible. There's more gifts in the dark realms. And so you could be all love and light, and you can still access the dark realms so you can change things. So just so everyone's aware. Okay, I'm going to use the big crystal because I feel like something definitely does not want me to talk. Which makes sense when you're dealing with topics like this, right? So you just take it as it is, baby step. Okay. One such example of a shadow walker to the first degree would be a heart-aligned individual who accidentally stumbles into a low-frequency environment. Because the individual is of a higher frequency of light, they remain protected and are safely guided back into a higher frequency environment. This is a divine protection as well as the beginning stages of the shadow walker gifts. For this gift may expand into the lower chakra octave, tunes into the astral dark realms, and dark entity layers if so manifest. Each gift may be seen by three expressions, the first, second, or third degree, And having a divine protection guide you out of dark areas and back into light allows for unlocking the veil to allow this gift to further expand. One such example of this ability may be seen on planet Earth with different voodoo expressions. In this case, a blood sacrifice may be used to call upon a dark entity, and then some form of contracts will be drawn up, allowing control of the dark entity. I don't agree with doing any of that. So just so everyone is quite clear, I'm all love and light. I do not agree with that. But I feel like it should be discussed because some people on the planet are doing things like this, and we should be aware. This way we know how to protect ourselves against people doing that. Now, let me just explain. I had a situation in my personal life, and it was very personal, but someone went to one of these people. They had a chicken head cut, and then they cast negativity at me. And so I was on the opposite end of this situation. And so I didn't believe in it at the time. I was like, no, that's nonsense. But my entire life shifted. The second that they did this, it was within, they said, an hour or two, because they had contact and communication with the people I was with. So they knew what was happening with me. Within an hour or so of this happening, I had pulled my back out, went into pain. I was off pain meds at the time. And then all of a sudden I was back going to doctors on pain meds, and I spiraled completely. I was in so much pain, couldn't get out of bed again. So when they do things like this, it's kind of important to know how to protect your energy. And so you just, you be aware. So let me see. Where was I? The dark arts include dark matter exploration. Dark matter is known to grant the collective consciousness access into different dimensions or timeline expressions. This is how many of our starcraft technology was formed. This is the reason the star people had to investigate this type of material. Their starcraft technology was formed through dark matter, right? So we have no choice. If you're following the science in itself, you have to learn the dark matter technology. What is CERN doing? They're dealing with dark matter. This is why people are always talking like they're trying to summon a demon. So we know that dark matter and demonology is somewhat connected because they're entering the dark octave, which is underneath our feet. But how do you birth new light? You have to birth new light through darkness. This is how our babies are born. Your brain, it's in darkness, but electrical signals are light. And so there's always light inside of darkness. This is how the microcosm, which is us, fit into the macrocosm of the universe. So we have to be aware. Okay. Let me see. Dark matter is also the way new life is generated or a universe is manifested. It is connected into the void, which will grant access into safe spots, cycle repeats, and the memory complex. So the void is another really, really interesting topic because we have our chakra systems that blast love out the front, and we blast fear out the rear. Now, the ones that blast out the rear, it's connected into the void spot. The void spot is similar to a black hole, but it's a tiny bit different because it's everywhere. It's like we see the ether. We don't see it, but we know it's here. This is what light ions is made of. It's ether. This is the light that forms your energetic grids. Well, the void is kind of like the darkness. It's a dark matter. When you fire off a negative emotion, that negative emotion makes an imprint on the dark matter that sends it to the Akashic records. But most importantly, your cycle repeats. They all come from the back of the chakras out the back. And so they're all there because your past is behind you. We've been told this over and over. So if the past is behind us, that means those chakras in the rear are holding on to the cycle repeats. And so if you can take a magnet, you take it from your chin up over the head and straight down the spine at least 10 times, it will start to remove any densities that are inside, and the cycle repeats as well. So the cycle repeats are always caused by an emotion. So if your emotions trigger those chakras, this is how the whole system works. Now, the void space, there's also a form of gamma radiation that pulses out of it. And so imagine this, the Akashic records is directly tuned in to both the void and the Akashic records, the source frequency. So it's one frequency wave, it's two spectrums. Think about it this way, when you have dark experiences, it's in the dark area of the Akashic records. This is just the way the book works. There's a light and there's a dark, and it's all blended. And so when we know this, if you wanted to go in and change your past, let's say something happened to you that was very traumatic, you would have to go into the dark matter or back there or the void. Any of these words are fine. And you would have to consciously, with just closing your eyes and going in with your mind, you can make changes to the past by entering the dark matter. That's how it's done. The dark matter holds light. The present moment is we see light because this is the universe that we are in. But The dark matter, when we go in, think about even the star people are saying when you close your eyes and you meditate, you're going into darkness and your body becomes filled with light. So this is just another part of the holographic experience. I know some people don't like to hear this because I can feel it, but we have to discuss topics like this as well because it's important. And the second that we realize the way the system works as a whole, it makes us more powerful because then we're like, okay, I know how this works. So even if I choose not to embrace trauma or density or darkness or any of that, there's still a use for it. It's still here for a reason. And so if I fall down, it's going to teach me something. That's what the darkness is here for. It teaches us. Yeah, exactly. It's not just bad. It's just there. So, but some people, I know my comments on Facebook and some people are like, why are you talking about this? But we're doing the attachment releasing class coming up in 2 Saturdays. And so the attachment releasing class, this is like a precursor to that. You have to understand dark matter, and then you can kind of understand the attachments live in dark matter. And so if the attachments are dark matter, but yet they're feeding off of our light, what does that tell us? The dark matter is feeding off of the light. They're interacting with us. And so, we start to figure all these things out, and yeah, it's amazing. Does anyone have any questions? Yeah. I think that's it on the post. Any questions? Anybody? Okay. So here's another one. Today, we have one question come in about energetic spots on the Earth and the vortex grids. And so this is a really good one that I like because it's more love and light. But we have vortexes. And so your heart chakra is a vortex energetic that comes forward. And of course, the one in the back is the dark matter. It triggers into the void. Now, when we call upon a vortex energetic, this is really important because your body language speaks volumes when it comes to play when we're calling a vortex. And so imagine that you are in a love-based emotional frequency. When you are in that frequency, normally your neck, all your stuff will be straight up. And this is why we say it's this pretty stand-up type of guy. Your heart chakra, it goes from slumped over to it opens big. And so it opens big because you are pouring your love and light out the front of that vortex. And so when you do this properly, you could feel into the space in the tiny place of the heart, and that space will open and unlock. And so then you can stand on the earth. You can even rub your palms together, clap them 3 times. You could put them up to the sky, and you could just imagine sending love and light from your hands as well as your heart chakra. Now, when you do that, a type of vortex energetic will be manifest to the location spot. It's so funny too, because I was just doing this with my kids because we noticed the railroad tracks had trash on it. And so I was like, let's do a location vortex. So we're raising the frequency of that location, which then in turn allows that location to be cleaner, healthier. The people are more cohesive. It's more love and light there. And so it's just absolutely amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much, Derek. I appreciate you too for coming. Yeah. Okay, let's see. The zone of focus and the source frequency. So this is very important. Anyone who has gone through any sort of attachments to any items in the physical reality. So say the coffee, caffeine, soda, chocolate, all these things, which by the way, I have a couple people who quit chocolate with me and quit sugar with me. And so I'm going strong. So I hope that you guys are too. And so it's been, I think it's been about a week and no sugar. It's just been amazing. I did have one chocolate cupcake because my kids, but that was it. It was only one. That's not bad for a whole week. So I hope you guys tune in and you continue to do these things with me for your own best interest. So once in a while is okay, not every day. Okay, so zone of focus and the source frequency. Your zone of focus is the most important aspect of you. And so this is another reason why we see apps like TikTok, Facebook, all of the apps. They are craving your zone of focus because they want your focus there so they can show you advertisements, right? So they know how important it is to have your zone of focus. There's different types of subliminal programming or manipulation that takes place with the technology because of our zone of focus. And so there is a flicker ratio or a flicker rate of the holographic simulation. And so I want you just to imagine that there's a picture with a picture behind a picture and it flips like this. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. That's actually what the world outside of you is doing. It's happening so fast that we don't see it. I've seen it, so I know exactly what it looks like. And I've heard it because it's whoosh, 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 whoosh. That's what it sounds like. And then there's also a body sensation of being very like, whoa, like not heavy, but like melting into the reality that happens. No, I did not do this on chemical substances. This was something I did when I was younger. So, but this is how the flicker ratio works. And so when we know this, then all of a sudden it's like, okay, when we can drop into the heart chakra, we can make changes or modifications to the time space frequency wave, which changes that flicker rate. They do have technology that they can use to change the flicker rate. And so you have to realize the people putting the subliminal messages in the TV, they like to watch TV. What if their kids want to watch TV? So they had to have some sort of technology to put in place so that they can control whether their brain, their subconscious mind, sees the subliminal messages or not. Right? So they have technology, and that technology involves some type of red light that they look at, and it blinks. And so whatever it is, we can do the same thing, but we can use our consciousness. We don't need to use any sort of technology. And so the flicker rate is controlled by time space. So if you drop into the heart chakra, imagine being really, really happy and just thanking the heart, thanking the higher self for removing any of the toxicity in the digital programmings that you are about to witness. And so your biological form, it's going to take it baby steps to do. This is not, most of the time, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a couple manifestations to actually work its way through. Now, many times when we start doing work like this, you may start consciously noticing the subliminal programming. And so that's one way that to ensure that it's not hitting your subconscious. Now you're consciously aware of it. So many of us, we've gone through this process of evolution and we know about the subliminal programming. And so now we can see it like a sore thumb. That's because your flicker rate changed. You did it automatically by raising your biological frequency. You changed your belief patterns, which changed the way your brain thought. So now you knew that there was a threat. So when we know that there's a threat, all of a sudden it changes our consciousness because now we become consciously aware of how we protect ourselves. Your brain knows what to do. Your body knows what to do. So it happens automatically. Do you know when med beds will do you know when med beds will be available to the public? So that depends on your own manifestation of your own independent reality. And so each person is in a timeline bubble. That timeline bubble means I'm going to manifest this timeline, but then in the now moment, we are going to agree to coexist on this collective consciousness grid. And so you can have a look at people's memories. Memories, they'll tell you, the scientists will tell you, over 75% of memories are fake or fictional. And so when that happens, it's like, okay, well, whose memory was faulty? Was it yours? Was it mine? Or was it his? But it's all three of them. So we take a look at something called the Mandela effect. The Mandela effect shows us how you guys can remember something like Space Jam. Some people remember it with Michael Jordan, others with Shaq or Shaquille O'Neal. So there's three different Mandela effects on that one. And so when you Google Mandela effects, it goes 10 levels deep because you start realizing. And then not only that, but there's even questions to do with, did the government mess with people's memory grids to figure out how we manifest? Yes, that's a fact too. And so when you see something, let's say you see it 50 times on the TV, like a commercial, and all of a sudden that jingle is stuck in your head. Ba-da-da-da-da. I'm loving it, right? You see it 1,000 times over. Now, all of a sudden, it doesn't matter if it's true or not. You remember it. And so this is the way subliminal programming works. It does not always have to be subliminal, meaning it is hidden in the picture within a picture. It could just be you watching the same exact commercial, or you falling asleep with the TV and you're hearing or witnessing, or some part of your consciousness is absorbing that information. And so now all of a sudden it changes your memory because now you believe it because you've seen it 1,000,000 times. It must be true. That's how your brain works. You see it enough times, it becomes true for you. And so, but other people in other states who have not seen that commercial, it's different for them. Now, this is also how the mirror neurons work. You have mirror neurons that are in the front neocortex of the brain. And so that basically allows for your language to be learned from each individual to each individual. So if I go somewhere and they have a cultural accent, then my mirror neurons pick up, and it's kind of like the monkey see, monkey do genes, right? It picks up and it allows me to blend into my environment with all these people. So it's like you become vibrationally in alignment with the people that you are surrounded by. That's what your mirror neurons do. And so Yeah. What was this one? I'm not sure what your thoughts are on celebrity reptilians. I recently had a dream in the third perspective of a high-profile male celebrities. I mean, I believe it. I try not to really dive too deep into it because, once again, all of those people, where are they in my life? Are they on a TV? Can I witness them? Are they in my reality? Now, I would say if I stood in front of them, I would feel into their energetics and I would know. Because if any of you guys, everyone should be doing the energetic work. We should be feeling into each other's energy grids and sensing, right? So I've sensed enough human beings in my lifetime. I've gotten very intimate with a lot of people. I talk to everyone. I don't shut up, right? And so I go and I want to feel their energy. So I know what a basic human being feels like. Now, if you go to someone who is different, you'll know it. I had one experience where we were doing Uber at night. And so I walked into a diner and I really had to use the bathroom. We were not trying to eat. We were trying to use the bathroom. We was two people doing Uber. And so when I walked in, the gentleman behind the counter, he looked at me and he pointed right at the bathroom. Now, I wasn't making any faces. How did he know I had to do that? So in my mind, instantaneously, the shivers came all over me and I was like, he's telepathic. He read my mind. And I knew it. And then when I was walking out, he winked at me. So I was like, oh, he read my mind. Now you have to realize the extraterrestrials, they are already down here on the planet. They look like us. They talk like us. They blend in with us. There's different types of psionic abilities, so they can talk to you using their mind. So you think that you heard them in your ear and they're psionically talking to you. That's one way of doing it. Now, they also have technology where they can change the way that they look so that they look like humans. They also, when they reach a high enough level of their independent evolution, they can have shapeshifter abilities. So it's kind of like a chameleon. The chameleons, they can change their colors at will to blend into their environment. So certain extraterrestrial species, logically speaking, if an animal can do it, a star person can do it, because the star people, we all evolved from an animal. That's the bottom line. And so they're able to blend and shift so that they look like they're blending in with our civilization. That's just the way it works. I didn't make the rules. And so, but knowing this, it's like, oh my God, the extraterrestrials are already here. And so if you keep your eyes open, should be able to spot one. Now, don't be rude to them, right? If you come across one, you have a feeling, just keep it to yourself. They're regular people. Many of them come down here on like an internship program. So they come down here to learn, what is it like being in this chaos civilization, having to go to work, having to pay all these bills, having to do all this stuff, right? And so you may see them in like your coffee shop. They may be a barista. They may be working in a pizza shop. They may be all over the place. They're in the government. They're all over the place. They're everywhere. And not only that, but they're from multiple planets. So just imagine if the Arcturians have people down here, Andromedans, all of these different people, all of them. And they come down here and they learn from us. And each one of us, every single human on the planet is being monitored. And so many star seeds, we know we have star families. Well, if you sent your child down to a planet and you let that child go out of his body, maybe they're in a stasis pod. I have one in a stasis pod. And so you let that child go down to another planet to live an entire human life. Are you going to keep tabs on that child? Because I know I would. I would not let my children out of my sight. I'd be like, what are they doing today? Right? Is there any near-death experiences? Check the count, check the feeds, because they can see through time and space. And so this is what we would do. So if this is what we would do, then just imagine that that's probably what they're doing. Think about how you would respond, right? So I know personally the star people have saved my life multiple times. Once was a motorcycle accident. Once was a tire that popped off of a van and it was coming right at my head. And they manifested 2 street signs. So the tire hit the sign, bam, and it went back into the street. Those signs were never there. So that's only 2 times. There was another like 50 times added on to that. So yeah, I used to be a bartender. I was a really good bartender, actually. I can get into like the zone of focus and I turned it into a song. So it was like one chicka boom, chicka boom, chicka boom. And then all of a sudden all the drinks were made. It was amazing. That was my younger days. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Excellent. So your zone of focus is the most important part of you. So if there's anything that you don't like, we'll always hear these channels say, if there's anything that you don't like, you shouldn't really focus on it too much, or to put negative focus on it too much, because then it strengthens it and then you have no choice. You have to handle it. But if something is broken, you don't want to not focus on it, because then it's just going to continue to break And so what we are being called to do is put a love emotion focus. And so many, many times, this is one of the hardest things to do when you are broken. Many of us have emotional breakages. We have to go through the attachment releases. That's a big, big thing right now. It's a big thing. And so attachment releases, it's like, I want to teach a handful of you guys how to do it so that you guys can go out into the world and do it for a bunch of people and let me know how you've changed the civilization, right? Especially the Reiki people. If you guys are doing Reiki work and you are feeling into someone's chakra and you're asking them, how does it feel? Do you feel any blockages? Okay, close your eyes, take a deep breath in. Did your higher self give you an emotion code? Did it give you a memory? Did you get a name? Now, sometimes I can see the attachments. So, and some of them are really ugly, but I don't judge them, but they're really ugly, right? And so you have to know what it looks like, or what the emotion code is, or the location, where do you feel it in your body? And then you cast it off, you release it. And so it's just amazing. You died in 2008. God showed you everything. The timeline shift in 2012, new earth. Yeah, I love finding my soul family. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you very much for showing up and coming and giving us that information. That's amazing too, because when you have near-death experiences, many people talk to God. And so God will communicate with you. It's a source frequency or God or whatever names you guys want to use. It's all the same thing. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, I've been a waitress and bartender for 20 years. Now back working with my oldest son at a place he called Brick Oven Pizza. Delicious. He's in my site, moved out of the city. Very well. Good, good, good. Reiki healer here. I do get to do intuitive feelings. Spot on for helping others. Yes. Well, the thing is the people who help the most amount of people. And so those are the people that I want to target. I want to target everyone, but specifically those. So if you're working with the general population, send me a message. If you're a Reiki healer and you have at least 20 or more clients, send me a message. And so, you guys need to know the attachment release because it's going to help a lot of people. And so what we really want to do is we want to share our love and light with everyone. But if you can share it with people who can then broadcast it. So maybe we are actually doing the energetic clearing class. I'm going to be giving certificates from the Tree of Life organization, which is the business I work with. So you're going to get like a level 1, basic, like an energetic grid clearing attunement. And so there's a certification you guys can print out. I'm putting them together now, actually. And so you could take that and you could post it up on your wall. Anyone can come and contact me. And so we'll go over and, there's a whole syllabus. So, but it would be wonderful to have an attachment release certificate as well. So that this way you guys know what you're doing when it comes to these attachments and you will be protected and safe. So, yeah, let me see. Okay, beautiful. That's a long message. I can't read all that. So let me see. Does anybody have any questions? Right? I love questions. Okay. A zone of focus for overcoming distortion. So we were just in that and I totally got sidetracked. So when you have a distortion, let's say you have something broken on your physical form. We are being called to utilize the manifestation process as well as by pushing our focus, our zone of focus on that area of the physical form. So let's say, for an example, if you had a common cold, you're not going to just ignore it because then it's going to get worse. Any signs or distortions that show up on the physical form, it's because your higher self wants you to place more love on that area. So even by you getting up in the morning and taking a pill, let's say it's a sugar pill to cure whatever cold that you have, you are still placing your focus on the pill, which is allowing the belief systems to allow the body to start the healing process. But what actually happened is the pill doesn't really matter because it's all placebo effect. Because what you're doing is you're placing your zone of focus on healing that. Because you're like, oh, I'm going to take this and it's going to heal this. So your belief system, right? So how can you start tricking your belief systems? That's key. Because if you could tell yourself that drinking a little tea with some mushroom powder in it is going to strengthen your immune system and you're never going to get sick again, boom. It's a win-win. Right? And so mushroom powder is very high in monoatomic gold. It increases the oxygen levels in the body, especially lion's mane is very good for that. Chaga and reishi, those are the top 2 healing mushrooms on the planet. So I have several different mushroom bags of powder, and every morning I take a little scoop and I throw it in my tea and I drink it. And so, but what that does is now it's the same thing as taking a sugar pill, because now you're training your belief systems to take this and then your body's going to be healthy. Right? So start tricking or start utilizing the way your body works, the way your mind works, and start doing little things like this that you guys feel drawn to. So now I have to tell you, each and everything that I speak about, I try. I guinea pig. I've done it to myself. I've overtaken certain products. I've gotten headaches. I'm like, okay, we'll never do that again. So now I know, right? But I guinea pig every product I talk about. And so it's important because the process of me healing myself, I had to guinea pig a lot of different products. It wasn't just one or two. I just figured out the ones that work for me. And so everybody's body is different. So you guys have to guinea pig a bunch of different products and see what works for you. The product should always be healthy, positive, beneficial, organic, right? Plant-based, all of that stuff if you can, and vitamins and minerals. And so supplementation, that's important, but you have to feel what works for you guys, right? And so I'm not a doctor. And not only that, but if you do feel uncomfortable taking things like, borax or baking soda, you can take them in the bath. But you can also go to your primary doctor and you can have your blood drawn. You do not have to take any medicine from the pharmaceutical companies, but you can have all of your vitamins, minerals. You can have all your numbers checked. You can read all that stuff. You can see where you're low at. And so imagine for 1 second that blood report is of high value to each and every one of us, if you think about it, because then you can see energetically where you're lacking and where you have an excess in energy. And so some vitamins may be spot on, others may be super low. So then we go into the metaphysical information. So let's take iron. So where is iron? This is how I would do it. Now, I haven't researched iron, but baby steps. I would first figure out, where is iron produced or digested in the physical body? So that's number one. So that in itself is going to give me a location code. How does the iron work in the human form? Okay, so now I have the body part. Now I figure out wherever that body part is, what chakra is that connected to? Do your research. Click, click, click. Now all of a sudden you can see, okay, let's say for an example, let's say iron is in the heart chakra. That's just a guess. I don't know. But then I would dive into the heart chakra. Okay, so we know exactly what attachments get into the heart chakra. Each and every one of you guys, you know this subliminally speaking. You all have been heart hurt at one point or the other. And so when you get heart hurt, think back to the memories of those times when you were heart hurt. What was the most significant heartbreak that you have been through? Call it into your conscious mind and send it love and compassion. If you can't send the emotion code, then call upon your younger self. Imagine your younger self, put her in a chair. Imagine the day that she went through that heartache. Now give her a hug. It's okay. You're going to make it. You're going to be fine. You're going to turn into a strong person because you're going to be me, right? And so I had to do this with my younger self. I had to put her in a chair. Me and her, we spent so much time together. I put her in a chair. I call her up. You have to realize every single day is a different younger version of you because every day was different. And so you have however many days you've been alive, you have a younger self for each and every one of those days. And not only that, but that person who lived in that day, they went through the entire day. So just in your mind's eye, put her in a chair, give her a hug, tell her you'll be fine, right? You go over that. But once more, dive into the chakra. How does it feel? Do you feel any density? Does it feel hot? Does it feel heavy? Do you feel darkness? Do you feel shadow or smoke? And so you need to learn how your body makes you feel. So there's certain meditation techniques that we can do where we go inside the physical form and we actually sense outside the body. Now that's of high value to each and every one of us because let me tell you, I've dropped into the meditation. You're consciously aware inside your body. So you're awake and then you can feel when someone walks past you. So that feeling of their energetics, you can feel. So when you're consciously open and awake and you're engaging in the physical reality, you don't really feel their energy. You see them, so you recognize that they're there, but you're not sensing the energetics consciously. So when you start to consciously sense the air and the energy outside your body, then all of a sudden you can train yourself to become aware of the energy before you see it. Or you can sense the energy as you're looking at it. That's another level of the gift. You have to place your focus on it. So every single day, we're supposed to be placing our focus on our energetics, on again. Hold on 1 second. I'll take a sip. We'll swish the crystal. I just dropped my lid. Okay. And the crystal. Just swishy, swishy. Okay, so every day we are supposed to be placing focus on activation of extrasensory abilities. It's no wonder they hit me at that exact moment. They didn't want me to say that. So when you place your focus on that, this is what it looks like. It looks like you closing your eyes and becoming aware of the space outside your body. There's so much different information in the space outside your body. So sometimes it's extraterrestrials. Sometimes there's angels. Sometimes there's fairies. I had a fairy show up on the Facebook live stream once. I've had orbs on Instagram show up. I see them, but I don't watch the videos over. But that video, you damn right I watched over because I wanted to see. But yeah, we should be focusing on the space outside the body. Then we should turn it inwards. Can you feel inside the body? Now, I want you just to imagine for 1 second, you're in a holographic simulation. So every single sensory counts. If you are plugging yourself into, let's say, a computer simulation, because we do have the technology, human beings have the technology, they're developing a neuro link so you can plug yourself into video games. But you can do that wirelessly, the star people say. So just imagine for 1 second that you're already in a simulation. So what are some things that you should be placing your focus on? Inside your body, how does it feel? Does it feel healthy? Do you have any aches? Do you have any pains? Get your pen, write it down. If your back hurts, write it down. If your joints hurt, write it down. So now you take a look, the joints. Where's the joint related to in the chakra or energetic grid system? And then all of a sudden go into that chakra and start pulling it apart. So it's like it takes you on a journey. One step is from learning this to this to this. But then not only that, when you start breaking down the entire body, you start putting, it's like a evaluation of all of your biological systems. And so that's important too, because if you take a look at the bottom of your feet, if you have any marks or calluses or rough patches, that's all a sign. Even the rough patches, it's a sign. Because if you were pumping full energetics, that rough patch would have never manifested itself. You would be perfect. And so we have different experiential distortions that manifest. There's also a full range of attachments that latch onto us to push experiential experiences into us. So one experience, today my son tripped. Now, he had tripped maybe 4 or 5 times over the past couple of days. And it was like the same type of trip. And so I went in, I asked the star people, why is he tripping? And they're like, he's got an attachment called trippity trip. And so I told him, I said, speak trippity trip, get off, go home. So he said it. And then as soon as he said it, we continue our walk. He didn't trip once. So it was the attachment generating the experiential of him tripping. And so this is how experiential attachments work. Now we deal with emotional attachments, so they can push an emotion. Now, what does an emotion do? The emotion code starts the process of manifestation for whatever it is that triggered that emotion. So if you got your heart broken, that's an emotion. And so if the attachment is latching onto you because it wants to feel your energy when you have a broken heart, it's going to keep manifesting that experience into your physical reality. Okay. What about the people who need organ transplant? They were not following the biological signs and symptoms. That's okay too, because I've been there. There was many signs and symptoms I just overlooked because I didn't feel good. When you don't feel good, a lot of times your focus isn't on what it needs to be on. So let's say, take the calluses on the bottom of the feet. I had that. I had bad ones. And so, but my focus was like, oh, it hurts to walk. I have to sit down. My focus wasn't, let's get a crystal, let's get some lotion, and let's work it out. I had them for over 20 years. And I thought at the time I had tried everything. But yet, when I started putting the focus in the lotion and actually loving them and doing the energetic clearing on them, they cleared up in about 2 weeks. It was gone. I was like, I suffered for 20 years when all I had to do was rub a rock, right? And so sometimes it's really, really simple. Okay, the kidney transplants is the orange chakra, so the sacral. And so think about it this way. Your fear is in the sacral chakra. It's the orange one. And so anybody who's gone to get a tattoo, I have tattoos, I usually have to go to the bathroom like 10 times before I hop in that chair. And that's because that chakra holds your fear. And that's when it gets released. It's through the kidneys, right? Because all the urinary tracts and everything, it's all connected into that orange chakra. So she should really do an attachment release on that. You should have her message me. And so we'll try and do an energetic clearing and attachment release, see if she's interested. Or send her to my website, daniellelipton.com. Tell her to get a healing session. And so I'll take her through. Or send me a message, whatever. Wow, Trippity Trip, amazing. How do we get to know the right name, though? It comes to you. And it's always the first name that comes to you, and you usually don't believe it. And so many times when we have a name come through, it's like it's always a cute name. Like, hold on, let me get the book. Like Jabberwocky, that was one of the names. And so for the first couple of them, I go and I was asking the star people, "Are you sure that this is the name?" Because Jabberwocky, wasn't that on like Alice in Wonderland? And they're like, "Yes, it's a real attachment. That's why they put it in Alice in Wonderland." So let's see. Okay, so we have numbing the pain. So that's an attachment name. How many times have we heard people say that? Oh, they're just numbing the pain. Okay, that's your attachment. That's why you're embarking on that emotion code. I'm not good enough. That's an emotion code. That's an attachment. Some of these I can't say because stop your poop, right? Except the adult word. That's how many times have you heard people say that out loud? And so don't speak, keep your head down. Leg shake. Nervous Nelly is actually the name for leg shaking. And so if you've ever seen someone shake their legs back and forth, it's because Nervous Nelly is on there. So that's what the star people say. It's an anxiety, emotion, attachment. Nail biter and shaky shake. All four of those are anxiety, emotion, attachments. So they cause anxiety in the body. Now, we've been told since I don't know how long, but we bite our nails because we're anxious. I used to bite my nails when I was a kid. I had no idea it was anxiousness causing that. But then when I calmed down and I learned to turn off the fight or flight system, it's funny because I don't bite them anymore. Right? So bleeder or we got a bleeder, that's a blood loss attachment. So there's crummy. It manifests crummy in moments. Took my breath away. So if you've ever witnessed anything that was too terrifying and it just stopped your breath from breathing, that's the attachment. So oh, yeah, you were just biting yours. You got busted. You have to release it. So just tell it, nail biter, get off, go home. And then just see. You do it a couple times. You're supposed to do it 3 times. When you do it 3 times, they usually leave your system. So how do you fix a broken heart? There's still an intense burn-like pain after 1.5 years like now. Okay. When you have a broken heart, you have to dive into the emotions. And so you have to take it very logically as well. Now, it's not easy to heal a broken heart because a lot of times we experience loss, and the lost one is the worst one to deal with. Whether it's a loss of a relationship, loss of a child, it breaks your heart. So we always want to handle ourselves and our hearts very carefully, very cautiously. We do not want to be like, we don't want to be too rough with ourselves. We want to be very compassionate to our hearts. And so remember, love has got to be coaxed. It's not something you can just turn on, because some people have shades in front of your heart that don't allow you to experience love. And so we have to handle the situation with a lot of compassion. And so what I would have you do first is just drop into actually, you know what? Everyone, we might as well just do this right now. So everybody here, just take a deep breath in and release. We are now generating a form of a safe space. We are inviting the Arcturians into each and every individual watching this video in the now moment as well as the future moments. We also call in the Archangel Michael and Raphael to come and assist each and every individual in the healings of the heart chakra centers. Take another deep breath in and release. I want each and every one of you to just visualize the heart chakra. It is green in its nature. It could be very wide. It could be very small. It could be going to the front of the body. It could be going to the back of the body. How does it make you feel? Do you have any density, any distortion, any darkness, any pain? Is there any emotion codes? Take a deep breath in and release. I want you just to imagine that there is a ball of color in front of you, and it's going to act like a magnet, pulling any and all density, distortion, darkness from each and every one of you, magnetically attracting it and transmutating it and giving it to Mother Earth for reincarnation. So just take another deep breath in and release. Now, I want you really to go inside your heart chakra and just sit there for a moment, each and every one of you. I want you just to ask the higher self very gently, is there any emotions? Is there any memories that I need to see? Is there any attachments in the heart chakra? And just sit. we're going to just sit for 1 minute and just allow you guys to sense what's in your heart that needs to be released. So I'm watching the clock. I'm also going to be sending a bright white light with the Star People's assistance through the back of each and every one of your heart chakras to allow for a full energetic cleansing and purifying of the heart chakra. So just take your time, take a deep breath in and release. Beautiful. How do you guys feel? Does everyone feel like this whoosh of calmness? I don't know if that was a minute. I like totally blanked out. But how do you guys feel? Did you feel any emotions in the heart chakra come up? Did you feel any denseness, any tightness? Did you feel any maybe like there was a screw in your heart? Just imagine pulling it out and throw it into a trash bin. Okay. And so just allow it to just heal and fix. Now, the more and more density that crying happens a lot, it does. It's okay. Let it out. This is a safe space. And so just imagine if you have any pain in the heart, just pull it out and just trash bin it. Bam. You no longer need to carry it. It doesn't need to be in there. It's like all of our traumas and tragedies, all this stuff we're carrying a bag of rocks. And so just put it down. You saw a dark shadow figure. Did it scare you or did you feel loved? And so, Steve, how are you feeling? Did you feel anything change or shift in your heart, hun? Let me know. So the shadow figure, were you afraid of it? Because if you were afraid of the shadow figure, it means it was not a positive polarity. The positive polarity, there's shadow beings, of course, but they're more like a heart hug. And so, yeah, lots of whites. Yes. See, felt something pulled gently out of my throat and heart. Yeah, the Star people, they know all you guys. Like, it's so funny to me, but they're actually in your bedrooms right now or wherever you guys are. And so when we do the energy work like this, they send someone, you have a rep. And so they stand right next to you and they do the energetic clearing. And they knew that this was going to happen before. So you felt like it wasn't mine, but it's lingering around. You can ask him nicely to leave. Say, I'm consciously aware that you're here. Thank you for leaving my space. And be commanding, right? So does Archangel Mike lead the Arcturians? Nobody leads. See, they're all even. And so this is a big thing about the collective consciousness and realizing that we're all one. So it's just a different perspective that's happening. Good. You felt lighter. Very good. Yeah, so I mean, I don't think you guys like to do things like that on the live, but I'll do it. I don't mind. You saw an ice cube being pulled out by a white string. Yes, so that's cold. Now we take a look at cold and hot. Cold is connected into the void space. And so hot is very, very high frequency. When we boil something, we raise the frequency, and cold is slower frequency. And so, yeah, I saw a flash of white light in my mind when you began talking again. So the Star people, the Arcturians, what they do, there's a lot of times I'll be in meditation and I'll have my eyes closed and I'll see a white light flash here. So it's slightly above my eyes. And so that's some sort of technology that they're using. I don't know what it's for. I've asked. They're like, you don't need to know. They're like, just know it's healing you. So still some heartbroken in my heart, as I can see. That's okay. You know why? Because it's meant to be there in this very moment. And so what you do is you drop into the meditation again. You do it again tomorrow. Now, it's very, very important after you do energy clearing and attachment releases that you guys take a shower and use salt, because salt is going to cleanse and purify the emotional energetic grids. The top of the head tingling, that's normal. That's absolutely normal. Yes, it works for the dogs. Actually, especially the cats. If you drop into a meditation, the dog or the cat, they'll usually come right over to you and like lay with you or cuddle with you. But the cat will look at you, it will know what you're doing, and then the cat will drop into a meditation with you. And you can tell the difference because the cats, they'll lay down on you when you're going to take a nap. But when you're dropping into meditation, they'll sit straight up and they will close their eyes. So you can tell the cats, yeah, they know that they're meditating. They're highly conscious and active beings. Like they have full emotions. You can message me on, well, I'm on Facebook. There's treeoflifeorganization.com, or there's a Danielle Lipton profile on Facebook, or you can go to daniellelipton.com. And so that's my website. There's a little message box. So you could send me a message. Thank you. I feel lighter and calm. This was a nice healing. I have seen the white light in my meditations. Thank you very much for the Arcturians and this assistance. Now, could you imagine? Maybe we should do this for like 20 minutes. I should get like a little crystal singing bowl or something, so I could keep my focus and let them help to heal. Because I know you guys, it's deep. When they do the energetic clearings, everyone usually feels like a weight has been lifted. So, maybe we should do a live stream where we do an energetic clearing for maybe 10 minutes or 15 minutes, whatever you guys can stand, right? And so just to help heal the collective, because when you guys heal yourself, then all of a sudden it heals everyone. This is what I do during my sessions, right? So I go in, I do all this healing on people. I usually put headphones on. They're not on the phone yet. And then I listen to music that's like very religious and spiritual music. And then I do the energetic clearings on them. So, but yeah, doing it on camera, face to face, this is another thing with my healing sessions. And so we go into each and every chakra and we release. And the attachments, I do want to be doing attachment sessions very soon. And so I did one attachment session with a friend of mine, and it took 3 hours. And I felt like we need to do it again and again. So it's not a one and done. It's always you release what you can today, and then you shower with salt water, and then you meditate. The Arcturians always go through after we do this stuff, and then they do energetic clearings and healings on you guys, as well as they want me to say it's also the star people, because you guys each, they're saying that you each have different star families, and so they're not going to step on anyone's toes. If you're Andromedan, the Andromedans are going to come in and heal you. That's normal. And so, but the Arcturians are here to guide everyone, but this is why they want me to use the word star people. It's angels, guides, there's religious figures, there's all sorts of people from different planets. They're basically like the yogi, or the, in Star Wars, they're the little green guy. There was definitely a deep energetic inner clearing yesterday. Felt it really good. Very good. Yeah. So, and it just, the more and more that we start doing these practices, we heal each other through the practice. Right. And so I learned by doing this on you guys, and then you guys feel healed, and then it ripple effects, because then when you shine more light, then your location code has more light, and then you're shining brighter. So it heals the entire, this is how you change the world. And it all starts with one person loving. That's it. That's all you really need. They've been saying that from the get-go. They've been saying it's going to domino effect. You have a bunch of star seeds on the planet. Everyone is opening their heart. You're giving love. You're having patience and compassion for those people who are not yet awake. And so if someone comes at you and they're screaming and cursing at you, take a deep breath. It's okay. Don't get triggered, right? And so think about what would my star family do? And now I'm 10 levels deeper on that note, because I'm like, oh, they're watching me. So I'm on my best behavior. Most of the times I try my hardest to be. So just think about it that way, and just allow compassion to fill your heart, so you can handle the negative situations with more love. Because each and every one of us, when we start to handle all situations with more love, it allows us to raise our frequency very rapidly. The more and more we raise our frequency very rapidly, the more 5D becomes accessible to all people on the planet. Now, of course, the scientific way that this whole thing works is kind of like the power of 3 steps into place. When 3 or more people believe, then they will perceive whatever it is that they believe in the physical reality. And so when we all believe that we can heal and we can shine as much light as possible, it raises the frequency of the planet very rapidly. And so this is part of energy projection. And so this is another reason why I'm here to teach this. Yeah, thank you guys. I'm so incredibly amazed that all of you guys had such good experiences. Anybody who's crying, send me a message, right? And so maybe we'll talk about it, and we'll dive in a little bit deeper, because if you have tears, that means that you guys have things that need to be cleared. Okay, so don't be shy. Go to daniellipton.com, send me a message, or my Facebook profiles, anything, right? And if anyone has any questions for the next live, please feel free to send them in. I take all the questions, I write them down, I try and handle them. There is a lot of messages sometimes. So I just finished getting through all the messages, so it's all clear. But send me your messages and I will reach them out on a live. Now I'm starting to do lives 4 times a week. So that's like anywhere from 4 to 8 hours that I'm sitting here giving you guys information. So a lot of the information on the rare occasion that you guys understood every word, which it's a lot of information. It's okay to reread or to rewatch the videos or re-listen to them. It's okay to just allow your subconscious mind to pick into all the information. You don't have to consciously remember it all. That's not the way this works. There's also a type of frequency that flows through when I channel the star people, which is anytime I open my mouth and I start talking about this, what it feels like in my body is I get really happy and excited, and I just love talking about this information. And so, but they said that happiness and that excitement is what allows them to push a high frequency through me, which then in turn allows your energetics to raise in frequency. And so many people, you may have felt like you listened to the live stream and then you felt a lot lighter afterwards. And that's because it's a form of light linguistics, the star people say. So yeah, just enjoy. Send me your messages. You can email, subscribe at daniellipton.com. This way I have a way to communicate with you. And so what else do we have? We have 2 classes going on. And so next Saturday is the energy grid clearing and healing class. So anybody who wants to do like a Reiki class, that's what it is. And so the seats are very limited. I did have to open it up. So there's 2 different time slots. So we're doing 3 p.m. and then I believe either 6 or 7 at night. So the seats are very limited, and we had a bunch of people already sign up. So we also have the following Saturday after that, we're doing the attachment release class. And so once again, the seats are very limited. They're already filling up on both classes. This is a hot topic. So 3 p.m. and 6 or 7, it's one of those. You can reserve your seat at daniellipton.com. It's under the sessions link. So yeah, you guys can do that. Yeah, you sometimes, you know what? It's even with my post. I don't really listen to my videos, but I'll go back and I'll reread the post and I'm like, wow, that's amazing, right? Like, I think it's amazing. But the star people do that to me. And so when I look back at the post I was writing 3 years ago, I think to myself, oh, wow, I thought that was amazing. But yeah, I thought that was absolutely amazing back then. But that's part of the manifestation process. And so when you write something and you think and you feel and you believe it's amazing, what happens? It turns into something amazing. So it doesn't matter if you're writing something that looks crummy, just keep believing and feeling like it's amazing. It will eventually get to where it needs to be amazing. And you'll look at it then and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that I did that. That's how we manifest. So even with the videos are all on, you can even go to Tree of Life Organization at YouTube. And so if you go under live videos, they're all listed in one spot. So you guys can sit there and just watch them all. So yeah, it's perfect. I do encourage you guys to take every single post I write, keep it, copy it, store it on your phone, write it down, print it, put it on your wall if you need it. It's fine. Share it with the collective. And so also the videos, if you guys want to save it, put it on your hard drive. This way nobody can erase it. So, and then share it, like, copy, share, give to people that you know. I mean, there's tons of star seeds. We all need the information, and it should not be gatekept. So this is why I do these videos. You guys need the information. I have it. They're giving it to me. And to give me your questions. That's it. You guys have like an open opportunity to make contact with the extraterrestrials. I was going to call them aliens, and they stopped me. So funny. But you guys have an open communication with them. So send me your questions, and I will get the answers. They always give an answer. So can I assist to locate your star family? So when I do my sessions, I actually go into your energetic grids and they tell me your star family as well as what other guides comes across. Many times they give us 3. And the truth of the reality is that we have 8. And so there's a 8-sided personality complex. And so you need to have each one of those sides filled with a past life or a future life. And so that's, half are male, half are female. They're saying that some are both. And so that makes sense too. So it could be anything, but it's like an even expression. Martha, I did a few sessions with her and confirmed my 3-star families. Yeah, thank you. What is making my head ring? Please. So, okay, Scott, we're going to dive into the pineal gland chakra. So if everyone wants to do this, we'll just do it one more time. Take a deep breath in. And release. So now we are generating a safe space where we can activate this type of healing. We call in the Arcturians, the star people, as well as the Ascended Masters and the Archangels. The Ascended Masters say specifically that they are working with you, Scott. So they say, go into your pineal gland chakra. Feel the purple move. There's a specific shift in the energetics that they wish to fulfill, that they wish for you to become aware of. Take another deep breath in. They're saying it's not a density removal for you, but it's more like they are going to put a light inside of the pineal gland, which is then going to help facilitate further contact and communication with your star family. Take another deep breath in. And release. Now I want you to go into the pineal gland and feel and sense. How does that chakra make you feel? Is there any density, distortions, chaos? Is there any emotions? Have you ever felt like you couldn't see? Just allow whatever is to come up. Maybe you saw something that was very traumatic when you were very, very young. Allow any of these memories to come into the conscious mind. I'm going to stand behind you, shining a bright white light through each and every one of your heart chakras, allowing for this healing to fully facilitate. Take your times. There's no rush. Okay. How did that feel? How did you feel, Scott? Throw it on the. I feel my head totally shifted. Like I feel it's like, whoo. Sometimes that happens when I channel too. So some of you guys are very strong empaths. So you've tuned into what I feel while I'm channeling, and it's like it's very hard to explain, but it kind of like the whole physical reality gets fuzzy, but it's like a high blissful feeling. So I'm fine with it. But that's what the vision turns into. So yeah, what did you guys feel? Tell me. You see, and these things, they don't even take too long. You just really, it's all about dropping in and seeing how you feel, what comes up. Now, your biological form is designed and meant to give us signs and signals. Signs? So signs and signals from the physical form. Like a TV square, dark and light. I saw metallic fog swirling. Okay. Metallic fog, you can pull it out, throw it in the trash bin. It's a vortex trash bin, and then you swirl it closed. A TV square, dark and light. So once again, pull the darkness out and throw it into your little trash bin. But it's got to be a void trash bin because it's darkness. So put it in the void and then send love and light and close it. Yeah. And so I would keep doing that. Keep doing it over and over until you feel like that density is gone. Carolyn, you had a bunch of distortions. I would want to, we're going to get on a session. So yeah. Anybody else? Okay. Let me see. What else do we got here? So we went over the sessions. I do offer sessions. Oh, the crystal package. We got Andara crystals in. I showed you guys those. So those are wonderful. The next people that do, I actually think I'm going to be hosting a crystal package giveaway this week. So anybody who joins the YouTube Tree of Life organization and they add themselves, I'm going to be putting all of those names into a pot and then drawing a name so I can mail you guys a crystal. Or a crystal package. I haven't really decided yet, but we'll figure it out as we go along. We do have the 2 classes on the next 2 Saturdays. So one is for the energetic grids. That's like a Reiki class. And then the next one is for the attachment release, which is actually, it's the information that we're going over tonight. And we're doing the energetic clearings now. So we can kind of see how the entire reality shifted, because now it's like, okay, this is what we're meant to be focused on. I never thought I was going to do energy clearings on a live video. That's like, but this is what we do. You know, it works all in divine timing. So if you guys like it, we'll do a little bit more of it, because when you guys heal, everybody heals. So energetic clearings, we did that. Where was it? Okay, so DanielleLipton.com, this one. Sessions healing, like, share, follow, email subscription list. We do have Star People group. That's at Facebook. So that's my one group page where I post everything out. I try and do a photo of when we're going to be doing these live videos. So let me see. Let me access the photo real quick. I might as well just go over the schedule. So we have Friday, January 20th at 7 p.m. and Saturday, January 21st at 4. So you guys can kind of see the schedule. And so this way you can join me for the live stream. I do believe Saturday, the 21st at 4 p.m., I'm going live before that class. And so that class is that day on Saturday. I might have to take a look at that. I might have to cancel that live because I think the second class is at 3. It's a good thing that I just noticed that. Okay. Well, we'll see how it goes. Yeah. Thank you guys so incredibly much for coming. It's a absolute pleasure. And just, I love doing these things. It's so much fun for me. Yeah. Thank you guys for coming. Anybody who needs me, I can be found at DanielleLipton.com. You can send me a message. You can send me your questions. I will answer them all on the live. If you want to do a session with me, do a session. It's a perfect time. If you guys want to do a healing session is exactly what we just did. So we'll dive into the energetics. We'll pull apart your emotions, and we will start the healing process. Your star people always come through for you. And so we will get who you are working with. All of you guys are starseeds. And so angels, guides, ascended masters, they all come through. They all love us and they want to see us succeed. So just take that with you guys, and many, many love and blessings. You guys have a wonderful evening, and thank you so much for tuning in.